Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to New Jersey Satellite Studio, where we show you the flavor of life here in the District of New Jersey.
Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or wherever you are, wherever you're watching. Good day. Simply said, good day to everyone, to all our listeners. Welcome to INC Radio New Jersey Satellite Studio. Today, we're talking about having a positive financial mindset. So, we've been talking about mindset for the past couple of shows, right, Jeff? What can you say about this?
Right, Marisol. Mindset is where you put your mind, where you set your mind. And, sometimes, as you know, there's that song, my mind is on my money and my money is on my mind. That might be you, that might be us. And, it might limit our way of thinking. It might be a way that we can think about this thing because imagine we spend 5 days a week working towards paying our bills, so it is a big thing. So what is mindset, you might be asking about what is that. So we'll talk about that and how to develop a positive financial mindset. And the positive financial mindset is about taking control of your money instead of letting it control you. So how can we do that? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So what's the question that we have for team live chat?
Yeah, but before we delve into our topic, Jeff, we wanna tell our listeners that we are not financial experts. I'm not an expert. Are you an
I'm
expert, Jeff?
I am not an expert at all.
So we both are not experts. We are not financial advisors, but we are here to share our experiences. Being being adults for so many years. We're not going to tell you how many years we've been adulting, right? But we're here to share our experiences, what we learn about finances, and we also would love to hear from you. I'm sure some of our listeners have experiences too, and about money, how to handle money. So share it with us in the live chat. And our question for you from for our TLC: how do you stay financially fit? So if you have any tips for us and for all our listeners and viewers, kindly write them down in the comment section.
All right, and I think we can get right to it, right, Marisol? So your money is the mindset made up of all the beliefs or feelings that you have about money. You can have a negative mindset. You can have a positive mindset. So, to have a positive mindset or positive money mindset, you have to change the way that you see money. Is it this that controls us or do we control it? Let's make sure to talk about that. And once again, Marisol, like you said, we're not experts, but we're just real people living our lives, working our jobs, pretty much like 99% of you who are our listeners and viewers. And honestly, if you are, someone who is financially savvy, you can also put some tips, some of your experiences in the live chat. So let's see how you feel about money and how you value it. So, Marisol, we talked about it earlier, about having a mindset. Is there a point in your life when you saw a change in that mindset?
Yes, definitely, Jeff. As I mentioned in the previous shows, I joined a networking company before. As you know, when you join this um, networking companies, there's always an investment to it. So I did pay a couple of $100 for this company, but then I failed. I failed. But you know what? The best thing that happened that is worth more than my investment is what I learned from that company. Because with these networking companies, we always have personal development seminars. There's always meetings. The the people above you always want to train you on how to become a better person. So the takeaway from that company, I am so thankful that I did join the company, even if I did not succeed, because it totally changed my mindset about money. Like before joining the company, I would just waste my money in buying unnecessary things like luxury things, branded things, those kind of things. But after joining that company and knowing and learning about finances, it like shift my mindset like 360 degrees. So now I prioritize where I put my money, instead of buying luxury things, I prioritize on what really matters to me and what matters to my family. How about you, Jeff? Was there a significant experience that totally shift your mindset?
Oh, Marisol, it's kind of funny we were talking about it because there were a bunch of times, even going in reverse historical order, we just bought a house, uh, last year got married.
Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. It's funny. They say that that's the biggest thing that you ever spend money on. And, no lie. It helps having a positive mindset. Was mine totally positive at the time? Those of you who know me, or there is some anxiety that's tied with that. But even before that, um, there were some recessions that we've lived through. And also, one of the ones that I want to mention is, when I learned the hard way about credit cards, which we're going to talk about,
Mm,
in a couple minutes, where, you know, you have this credit card and it's just so easy to just swipe, swipe, swipe. Now it's just tap, tap, tap. It just makes it so easy for that money to go out. And that's what happened. And it's real easy to lose track of it to the point where you don't realize, these interest rates, get you. There are things that happen, that there are ways, that there are negative impacts that these have. And I had a big debt that, thankfully and thank God I was able to pay off. But you learn the hard way where you spend $1, it ends up becoming 1.3, 1.5, 2. So it really changes your mind. And imagine too that, we work so hard, every hour of our life, think about how much you get paid, and then, you want to minimize, um, or you want to maximize your effect on that. So yeah, the mindset definitely changes. So Marisol, let's jump right into it. How do you manage your money?
I manage my money. Basically, I I have put an automation. Like I pay myself first. So meaning I set it's automatically deducted from my paycheck. Like a certain percentage goes to retirement, um, life insurance or emergency fund. So it's automated already. And whatever is left, that's where I divide it with basic necessities, bills, and then for anything else that you want to do with your family. But I think the most important thing here is you set aside an amount for savings, and it should be automatic, because if it's not automatic, you forget about it, and before you know it, there's nothing left in your salary that will go towards your savings or towards your future.
Oh, definitely. And one of the positive things that I find about, in work life, a lot of companies will have a what's referred to as a 401k. Once again, not a financial advisor, just a worker, just someone who looks at my pay stub every once in a while and sees how much money goes out. But and like you said, Marisol, out of each paycheck, part of that is devoted towards that 401k, devoted towards savings, and it really is helpful automating that so that you pay yourself before you start paying some other things, and before you see how much this money is, and then you start spending it on, like Michelle Marquez in our live chat says, you know, up in on bubble tea, coffee, expensive things, like what some other people say, like what my wife says, look at what your needs are versus your wants. And one of the things that is kind of in between, because you really need to save. And then there's saving and investing. So it's the way that you can make this work for you. Okay.
Exactly. Let money work for you instead of you working for the money. I mean, we do work for money, but we should change that mindset that we should find a way to let that money work for us, right?
Right, right. And that, Marisol, this is something that even though maybe you're not a financial advisor, this is something that you and your family are experts on where, we have that phrase, do you live to work or do you work to live? And Marisol, I really believe, knowing you guys that you have that figured out. So how do you develop a positive money mindset?
I don't know about having it all figured out, Jeff. We're still learning. I'm not saying that I am financially stable, that our family is financially stable, but having the knowledge on how to properly manage her money is already a big step. So, what's your question for about the family, Jeff? I forgot.
So how do you develop a positive mindset instead of, I know for a while, especially during the recessions, like, okay, I need to hold on to these as much as possible, to figuring it out, hey, you know what? I need to have a positive relationship with it instead of letting the money control me. So how do you do that?
That's a very good question. I would like to answer this question by sharing how I teach my kids to have a positive money mindset. Because there were a couple of times where my kids would ask me, Mom, how come we're not buying this? How come my classmates have this kind of shoes and all that? So to teach your kids how to have a positive money mindset instead of a negative one, I don't say that's because we can't afford it. So if you say those words, we can't afford it, it's a negative connotation. Your children will grow up thinking, oh, I can never afford this thing, you know. So instead of saying that, I would explain to them, because each family, we all have different priorities. Our priority, as you can see, we prioritize having fun with each other, doing things together, going on vacation, going on adventure. That's where we want to spend our money on. Would you rather that we don't go out away for vacations, or we don't have fun and spend the money buying those very expensive sneakers? So it gets them to thinking that it's not about not us not having the money, but it's about us knowing and prioritizing what matters most to us.
And, it's like what you said, there are these priorities because you have this. You can get the sneakers and sure they look nice, but it's something that I've learned early on too. Like, the sneakers get me from point A to point B. And yes, if you can afford it, yeah, get yourself the nicer ones if it makes you happy. As long as, you don't get the nice sneakers and you're just eating like the free saltine crackers for you get with soup and stuff. You know, it's a way, once again, control your money, don't let the money control you, but also um, it also brings up Marisol, like there's another phrase where people say time is money, and that too, you want to use that and invest it on the time you spend with your family. And any Marisol, anyone that knows you, brother Brian, and the family, and once again, shout out to the Dagada family. You love you so much. Is we always see you're always out. You're always spending that quality time with the family, and that is your investment. Isn't that right?
Exactly. That, yeah, because that's what matters to us. So that's where we spend most of our money. And speaking of time, is an investment. Speaking of that, Jeff, I think it's also important to talk about, like, how we value time, like how we shouldn't wait for until so many years before we start investing because of, compounding interest. Like I waited, I wish I didn't wait too long before I invested in my 401k, because if I started early, those compounding interests would have been more by now. And also, I also teach my kids that, you know, I don't have it for them yet. Like I want to open an investment account for them. I don't have it yet, but working towards it. But I do teach them that when once you start working, make sure you open an account that will grow over time, and you'll be surprised if you start early. Don't you wish we started early? Like, don't you wish that we were taught about this in school, or even our parents taught about this in, but it's never too late, especially with you, Jeff, since you don't have any kids yet. So once you have a kid, You are lucky. Everybody's luckier in this generation because the World Wide Web, the resources out there is plenty where we didn't have it back then when we were younger, right, Jeff?
Oh, right, Maricel. And you know, I am totally 100% with you where I wish I had started earlier. And I started several years ago, and it's nice to see how your investments grow, especially when, like you said, you automate it because, it's automatically put away, and it grows over time. I don't have to think about it. And then, interestingly enough, when you are in the market to buy a house, I'm like, okay, how much do I have? Like, oh, hey, I really have much more. I have much more than I thought I did. All right, congratulations,
Yay, surprise.
right? So, I mean, we have to change the way that we think about savings, right, Maricel? So we have to have a way to say thank you to our younger selves for making the decisions that we made back then in the future. So, yeah, what's your advice on changing the way that we look at savings?
Changing the way we look at savings, we should look at our savings as like saving up for rainy days, for emergency situations. Ideally, we should really have an account just for emergency funds. I forgot what the number is, but I think you should have saved up at least 2 or 3 times of your budget. Like, say you lose or you get laid off for 2 to 3 months, you have enough money saved in that emergency fund to cover up for those 2 to 3 months of not having income coming in. So you should look at it as saving for the rainy day and not just swiping the credit cards when emergency comes, right?
Whew. Maricel, we need to save for a rainy day instead of just letting it rain, right? Instead of just that money just completely flowing out, which, sometimes we can. I remember, the first paychecks that I ever got as a kid. I think one of them I spent just on cookies. But yeah, like save for a rainy day, and you know, look at it as a way to pay ourselves in the future, right, Marisol? I know once again the decisions that I made years ago, and my financial advisor actually told me that I had a conversation with him recently, where yeah, there's certain things that you should do in certain time, and it's never too late to invest, but it's also never too early to invest because Marisol, in terms of compounding interest, when you talk about that, what is our best friend? Isn't it time?
What is our best friend?
Our
Time,
best friend
yes.
is time because with compounding interest, and also you have the ability to make the decisions early, and who knows. All right, now how do we step out of our financial comfort zone? How do we let go of those past mistakes that we've made?
Forgiveness. Forgiveness. We might think forgiveness, we're talking about money, but we have to forgive our past mistakes. Like, we don't dwell on the past. Like, say for example, the situation I shared earlier, like when I joined this networking company and I failed. I didn't. Of course, it was painful, right? It was painful. Like, you spend the money for that company, but then you did succeed. But instead of looking at the negative outcome of it, I actually thank it for the learnings that I acquired, and it made me a better person. It made me manage my money better. So forgive your past mistakes.
Forgive your past
Hey,
mistakes
Leia's
and learn.
here.
And we have Leah. Speaking of learning, how's it going, Leah?
Hey everyone, good morning from this is the Elizabeth Seaport Marina. So I had to I wasn't gonna jump on. I was just gonna say hi later, but I was listening to your conversation about the having a positive financial mindset and like you, Marisol, I also joined a networking company, which I did not do very well on, but I learned a lot, and it really changed the course of our financial journey. And like Jeff, I also I think that anyone who grew up in like the 90s and early 2000s, if you went to college, there was no way you were not getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 credit cards the whole time you were there because those marketing people are very clever and very assertive, and also you don't know a lot. So for you, Marisol, when you talk to your kids about um, money and budget, I think it's a great idea because growing up, like my parents managed my money mostly. So when I finally started working and had my own money, I didn't really understand the value. Like, what can I buy with this? But now, even now, I save every penny. So because over time it accrues, and even though you're like, oh, I was only save $5 this week, yeah, put it in the bank, and interest will eventually accrue. I mean, that was one thing that I wanted to ask you guys. Do you actually go shopping for accounts and see who has the best interest, the interest rate?
Yeah, that is helpful. And you can shop for interest rates based on number, and it's better than zero. It's better than spending it. um, Leia, especially being having gone through the homeowners and home buying journey. You look at interest rates in terms of mortgages. You look at how much other things cost, and you can shop around, you canvas, and then figure out what's best for you. We figured out what's the best for us. Marisol, what was your experience on that in terms of shopping?
Yeah, I do shop around, and I actually so like I choose the best two companies, and then I make them like fight over me. Like, you know, I send them an email, hey, this company offered me this rate. If you match it, then your my business is yours. And it does work. So it's good to shop around.
So when I joined, I heard forgive your past mistakes. Are we going to talk about past mistakes?
Of which I know I have many.
Well, one thing that I want to say is, if it feels like a gimmick, if it feels like a scam, it probably is. You know,
If it's too good to be true, right?
right? If your money's gonna double in one day, that's not. I don't know what kind of. So when you were saying investing earlier, I was like, yes, we should invest. We should invest smartly. I think a lot of people fall for that, especially during certain times of the year, like when taxes are due. I know the elderly are always at risk for that because they're not up to date with technology and deep fakes and people who just want to record your voice so that they can hack your account. So, yeah, so just be careful. Um, and if you fell for a scam, don't fall for it again. And tell your friend who recommended that scam for you
And
that it
sometimes
was
that's
a
just us
scam.
ourselves, so watch out.
Yeah, don't spend too much time on the internet. Like, you need to talk to other people. The internet is very clever. The internet is very clever about getting you to spend your money on things you don't necessarily need and that will not yield what it promises to yield. So, yeah. And if you made a mistake, yeah, you have to move on. You have to find a way. Hopefully it wasn't a too big of a financial mistake, but those things happen too.
Right? And isn't that a way that we can develop a wealthy person's mindset, right, Leia?
Oh yeah. So what is the wealthy person's mindset? Do you have anything on that, Jeff?
You know what? Let me toss it over to Marisol, because she has the more wealthy looking background.
Yeah, I'm out here in the rocks, in the sand with my cleaning materials. Yeah, Marisol, you definitely do have the wealthier background.
Okay. I'm not agreeing that I am the wealthiest of us, but it's just the background. Anyway, um, a wealthy person's mindset, an example of it is like, so we compare an abundance mindset and a scarcity mindset, right? So for a scarcity mindset, one would think, I don't have enough money, like my resources are limited, I can't do this. So that's a scarcity mindset. But if you have this abundance mindset, what you're going to be thinking is, I can always look for ways to, there's plenty of money out there. I just have to know where to get it. So you don't limit yourself to, no, that's it for me. I'm a failure. I can do it. So that's one example of a healthy persona's mindset. What do you have as an example, Leia?
Wait, what was it again? sorry, like there's a lot going on. That bad. There's a lot of people here participating in today's cleanup event. So sorry, they walked by and they were talking.
Can
I
you
could have to
share an
say goodbye.
example of a No, our question was, can you share an example of a wealthy person's mindset?
Um, wealthy person's mindset, they invest for the long term. They invest for the long term, even if they have, even if let's say the stock market is not doing well, they don't pull out. The stock goes down, they stay in or they buy even more. They think long term. They think 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30 years even. Doesn't like how long does it take you to pay off your mortgage? That's how much they're investing. Like they're thinking more of generations. They're not thinking of just themselves. They're thinking of their children, their grandchildren, and so they give up things that are just for now, so that they can have that money for the future.
Yeah, I think the phrase is delayed gratitude. Should you spend that $5 that, and there's nothing wrong with treating yourself every once in a while, but if you treat yourself all the time and you don't have any savings, you can't treat yourself in the future. So, wealthy people have that long-term goals and mindset and they make plans. Isn't that right?
Well, yeah, actually, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. There's nothing wrong with treating yourself, right? Sometimes, like me, I'm guilty of retail therapy. Mostly window shopping now because we're trying to change our mindset to be more of a wealthy mindset. But sometimes, something's on sale. I have that $20 rule. If it's $20, it's okay. But anything more than that, no, no go. And it has to be on sale. Like I'm a sale shopper. But yeah, I think we have to forgive those moments when we feel vulnerable and we look to maybe getting. Can you believe a bubble tea can be $12? Depending on how many toppings. So could you imagine what you can do with $12 in the week for other things?
Right. That could be
Or
like a pretty
coffee.
decent lunch. Yeah. Or a $12 coffee or sometimes even more.
Yeah. It can
You know,
compound, not just the interest rate, it can compound to those little things.
And compound on our calories and belly too. So, Leah, what I'm hearing from you is that we should be disciplined with our spending. Don't don't be afraid to treat yourself every once in a while, but don't be impulsive all the time. And also focus on the long-term goals. And another tip that we did have that we were talking about is invest in ourself. Look for ways to, you know, use that $12 to buy an expensive bubble tea, or maybe, you know, put that $12 towards, a class or even an investment, right?
On a class, there you go, Jeff. Yeah, like educating yourself about finances. It's one of the best tools that we can change, one of the best ways that we can change our mindset. There's so many resources out there that is for free. Your willingness to change your mindset, that is number one step. It will make a big difference in how you look at your finances by educating yourself, right, Jeff?
Yep. And you can educate yourself on finance. You can learn a skill. You can put money towards your human capital, your availability, your ability to learn and earn in the future. We can also invest in ourselves in other ways. Maricel, we know you and your family invest in your health. That's something really important. So, so how do you do that?
Investing in our health is by, you know it already. I don't have to say it because you see it in us. Exercise and just, your diet. That's the best investment for your health. Exercise and proper diet.
Exercise, proper diet, including your financial diet. Now, in order to be on that financial diet, we should familiar ourselves with our current financial or economic standing, such as knowing our net worth, knowing our credit score, knowing our debt amounts and monthly expenses. Sometimes that could be a little uncomfortable, when you look at the bill at the end of every month. Are there any tips that you have towards that, Marisol, in terms of, knowing what our current financial standing is?
Yeah, it's important that you do a regular checkup of your budget, like for our family, you or for for a husband and wife, you should sit down regularly and look at your money and see where you have been spending more on that is unnecessary, and make a decision to cut down on those, especially if your expenses are exceeding your income.
Okay, so once again, there's what's going in, what's going out. We have to make sure that we monitor this, monitor our spending. However, we can also monitor what goes in terms of, how much we're earning and also our investments. And these are pathways towards financial freedom. We can't just look at it as that scarcity mindset that, we have to hold on tightly to every single penny, which we can. That's a way. So, how can we start a path towards financial freedom? Yeah, Marisol, what are your tips on that?
Starting financial freedom is really knowing your budget, and that B word that everybody is dreading about, but it's very, very important to have a percentage, like build different categories, and each family has different categories, right? Depends on your lifestyle, depends on your needs. So I think the very first step is to know your budget and know where your money is going, like a name for every dollar, they say.
Oh, a name for every dollar. And it's really good that you say to know that. There's also another number. I think we talked about it earlier, Marisol. What is that number that we should know in terms of our current financial standing?
What is that number, Jeff? That our credit score?
Ding, 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 ding! You are the winner. And we see Leah
Oh,
again.
I was gonna say net worth, but I guess credit score is also one of them.
We should know all of these. These are all good numbers to know, including our debt amounts and monthly expenses. And once again, not a financial advisor, but we need to know about our credit score. Actually, yeah, Leah, what are your thoughts on those numbers, those metrics that we should keep a track of?
I think it's important to know on where you are. It's hard to face those numbers sometimes, though, Jeff, especially even what's like in your bank account. So, I mean, it's just nice. You should always know where and when, even if you set it and forget it, like the automated billing, automated saving that Marisol was talking about earlier. No, for sure, we need to know those numbers. You need to know your numbers, and I think ignoring the numbers doesn't make them better. Like it just makes the situation worse because then you don't know how to work from that, right?
Right, exactly. And it's, especially Marisol, as someone who's in healthcare, we need to know our numbers. We need to know our weight, our blood pressure, all these other kinds of things. Um, so these are all ways to become financially healthy. Now, in knowing these numbers, we might be tempted to compare ourselves to others. So, what's your advice on that? Is it something that's good to do?
I think, but Jeff, let's pause for a moment. I think Sister Leia wants to. We have a. She wants to interview somebody. No, not yet. Not ready yet, Leia.
Yes, we are. It's just that we're on the. I am actually here with Brother Ramil Rojas, our resident minister. It's just that we're on the
Hi, Brother
waterfront,
Emil.
and then there's a barge. It was honking just now. So yeah. So we're just gonna have Brother Ramil talk a little bit about what's happening here today in Elizabeth.
Hello, brethren. How are you? And we are conducting currently our cleanup drive, coastal cleanup drive approved by the church administration. So as you can see, we have a bunch of brethren helping out, wearing the INC giving shirts.
Yeah, so we're trying to keep things clean here in near our local congregation. This is about 15 to 20 minutes away drive from where our chapel is. But we're also trying to help the environment and also our fellow men. There's a lot of garbage here.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised at the things that people throw out, right?
Yeah,
Brother
just
Ramil?
like shoes, pair of shoes, sneakers.
Yeah, among other
Clothes,
things. And
yeah.
and we also have accessories, although we put ours
Yeah.
away for the broadcast. Okay. So Brother Ramil, do you have any greetings or shout outs?
Yeah, it's Hi to our brethren from Elizabeth, brethren from our district, of course, all the officers, and most importantly, our dearest executive minister, Brother Eduardo Manalo, and to his strongest helper, Brother Angelo Eranio Manalo. Hello, po. And take care always, beloved brethren, and God bless.
Right. Thank you, Brother Ramil.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Right. Back to the show, guys.
All right, thanks, Brother Mill. Thanks, Leia. And we wish we were there. It looks like such an awesome day out there. So I think we have only a couple more tips that we need to go through, and then continue on with some of our other segments. So, Marisol, what other advice, what other points do we need to tell our audience?
Another important point, Jeff, is don't compare yourselves, you know, to others, especially in the social media nowadays. Don't compare yourself to those people that you see on your social media because they, or including me, like I would only show you the positive highlights of my life, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So never compare yourself to other people because you don't know what's going on. They may be doing a lot of these things, but you don't know what's going on in their bank account. So don't compare yourselves to them.
All right, so don't keep up with the Joneses. Don't feel that you need to keep up with yourself. And lastly, Maricel, we have to be thankful. So, what is your tip on being thankful for what we have?
It's important to be thankful, for what we have, because if we always complain about what we don't have, it's not good for our mental health, right? So we have to be thankful for what we have and work on our resources to acquire more of what will make us happy. But stop complaining, and I don't want to say be contented of what you have, because then if you're too content, then you will not step up to go up to the next level. But be happy for what you have and strive to work harder to get more of what will make you happier and what will make you mentally healthier.
All right, so let's have that attitude of gratitude and let's make this work for us and not us work for this. All right, we hope that everyone's enjoyed that topic and we have some shout outs. So, Marisol, let's go to you first. Do you have any shout outs or greetings?
My only shout out for today is congratulations to our newlywed for our local congregation of Winslow. Congratulations to Brother David and Sister Erica Alaman. Welcome to the Buklod organization. I'm so happy to be part of your wedding yesterday. And hi to all my mom she friends out there who are listening, and to everybody who's listening, and of course to my family, to Brother Brian, Brother Gabriel, and Brother Caleb.
All right, and got some greetings here. So, of course, got to greet my home locale of Bergen and have to greet someone here. And greetings to and from the Fernandez families. And have a whole bunch of birthdays coming up, so we'll get through them quickly. So, happy birthday to my tita Tuning Blanco from New York. Happy birthday to Leslie Carriaga, John Santa Cruz, Luke Luge, Josefina Armas. Happy birthday to New Jersey's own Raymar Inocencio and Charles Brack III. And happy birthday to current Floridian and former New Jerseyan Anling McPartland. And to my bro on the other side of the world, Sean Campbell. All right, I think we have to give props to some other people that are the hashtag winners. So if you can go through that quickly, Marisol.
All right, Kriyatek, if you're ready for the bumper.
Now announcing our hashtag winners.
Congratulations, our honorable mention, Philadelphia. For our third place, Winslow. For our second place, Aston. And for our first place, Elizabeth. Congratulations, Elizabeth.
All right, congrats to all of you in the hashtag. So we have some activity updates. Kuya Tech, if we can get that bumper.
Activity updates.
All right, on Friday, June 21st, we have the health seminar, Basic First Aid Everyone Should Know. And the day after, Saturday, June 22nd, is the Philadelphia neighborhood cleanup. So Elizabeth has their cleanup now, and next week will be Philadelphia. And as usual, every Sunday at 9:30 p.m. is the devotional prayer of all students via WebEx. Please check your local congregation for details on local events and the daily Bible study schedule. And we have CFO in action. So, Kuya Tech, if we can get that in action.
CFO in action.
The Kadiwa members in the District of New Jersey gathered enthusiastically for their monthly meeting, eager to explore the topic of seeking greater gifts from God. As they shared their thoughts and experiences, they realized that seeking spiritual gifts such as wisdom, faith, and discernment were essential for their growth and service to others by being officers in the church. They discussed how these gifts would enable them to navigate life's challenges, make a positive impact on their communities, and deepen their relationship with God. Through lively discussions and heartfelt prayers, the youth were encouraged to seek God's gift with faith and humility, trusting that He would empower them to fulfill their purpose and make a difference in the world. The CBI organization in the District of New Jersey continue to establish various chapters for each local in the New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Recently, the local congregations of North New Jersey and Wrightstown were one of the locals to have their first chapter assembly. Students from various grade levels from the North New Jersey and Wrightstown local congregations attended this said occasion. District CBI officers showcased a small presentation explaining what CBI is and what a CBI chapter means for these two local congregations and its current CBI students. Through this activity, the CBI chapter of North New Jersey and Wrightstown were officially established for the academic students, giving them a way to connect and study with one another. As the academic school year of 2024 is coming to a close, students yet close in on another chapter of their education and studies. Students during this time reflect on their teachers and educators who play a vital role in guiding them throughout the scholastic year. To show their gratitude and appreciation to their educators and teachers for helping them through another year in their studies, members of the Church of Christ in the locale of Bayonne conducted a Teachers Appreciation Day at the Bayonne Chapel compound. Brethren and members alike gathered together to conduct this activity. In this activity, members of the Church of Christ along with teachers and educators had a lunch and socializing. A program ensued following the lunch, showcasing a video regarding INC giving and its mission. Afterwards, a game for students and teachers took place along with performances as a part of the Teachers Appreciation Day program. Towards the closing of the activity, kind words of appreciation, incentives, and certificates of recognition were given to the educators and teachers in attendance. Through this activity, members of the Church of Christ, most especially academic students, were able to show their love and participation to their educators and teachers. Not only did members show such great love, but they were also able to share their faith. Led by District Minister Brother Alex M. Reyes, members in the District of New Jersey continue to show their love to their fellow men through activities like this. And this was our CFO in action last week. From the District of New Jersey, this is Sister Marisol Dagutan. More on CFO in action next week. See ya!
And see you there in our future and upcoming activities, and even the ones today if you're at the cleanup. Hope you're having a great time. Well, time flies just so much, and that's it for today's show. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. We hope you were able to learn and also hope you feel better about it. We like to thank our church administrations for their continued support to INCRadio and allowing us to have this show where we can able to stay connected and learn together. Thank you to our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo Manalo, and our CFO Coordinator, Brother Angelo Manalo.
And before we say goodbye, we again thank all our viewers for taking the time to watch the show. We hope today's topic has given you some motivation and ideas of how to have a positive money mindset and also how to encourage others to also have a healthier relationship with money. See you on the next episode. Bye.